So let me ask you, what was it, that kind of made you want to focus on, the tribal scene in particular? It seems like that has a heavy focus for you. Um, and I guess to follow up, how do you think, that kind of tribal influence becoming more popular in music these days is having a more meaningful impact on culture?
Well, I think with consumerism and capitalism, we're kind of sometimes torn apart, and drawn into our own personal motivation of survival. And I think people are missing that kind of communal experience and that kind of collective tribal we oriented. For me, I started playing or music in a drum circle in the mountains of Utah. So that was a very tribal situation
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
actually made me fall in love with music, was just playing the harmonica, guitar, and the djembe, which is an African drum, and whatever else we had with us. And we would just kind of play into the night, and sometimes that was under the influence, or drinking, or whatever else it was,
Right, right.
maybe magic mushrooms. And so that was kind of like, I think, getting back to that root of just communing together, right? Communing with nature and connecting with one another and being underneath the same sky. And I think that's kind of why that's happening in festival culture today, is because people are longing for that communal experience and connecting with the divine together, and having that common experience of just existence with one another.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do think that, like, drum circles or music festivals do provide, is that, like, when you find that communal setting, like, you just find a group of people that collectively you can appreciate just that moment. And, in the appreciation of that moment, it kind of inspires you to perceive every moment in that way, even though sometimes it's a struggle.
Right, and it's a very ancient thing. It's been going on for a long time, and I think when we get segregated and separated, and capitalistic society is partly to do with that. I think it's a very competitive society. It's nice to kind of come back together and just recognize we are human, and we're not just competitive robots.
Right, right. Well, that and everything's so commoditized these days. Like, even, people, they don't even associate with who they really are a lot of the times, via social media or otherwise. It seems like a lot of people just try and brand themselves. And, one thing I do love is when people go to festivals and their phone's dead, they've just been completely cut off from that world, and they can kind of allow media's influence to kind of loosen on them a little bit as they experience something new.
Definitely, yeah. It's an adventure and experience to go and just and be free, and let go and connect with others, for sure. I think that's an important part of it.